if you join me, if you feel that sense that we can do better than we're doing, if you feel that it's not enough just to tinker around the edges, but we've got to take our government back in a fundamental way. If millions of voices join together, then I'm absolutely convinced that we won't just win an election, we can transform a country. And if any of you doubt the power of one voice, let me just close by telling you a quick story. I was down in Greenwood, South Carolina. How many people have ever been to Greenwood, South Carolina? I got 2 people. Not Greenville, Greenwood. All right, so we got 2 or 3 people here. Well, the way I ended up in Greenwood, this is a while back, a few months ago, I was at a dinner for the Democratic Party in South Carolina, and I was sitting next to a state legislator, and I was talking to her, and I decided I wanted her endorsement, and I said, listen, will you endorse me? She said, I'll endorse you if you come to Greenwood. And I must have had a glass of wine, because right off the top, I said, fine, I'll be happy to come to Greenwood. Come to find out that Greenwood is about an hour and a half away from everywhere. So the next time we're in South Carolina, my staff taps me on the shoulder and they says, now we had flown in at midnight, and I'm looking forward to a good night's sleep. They tap me on the shoulder, they said, listen, tomorrow we got to go to Greenwood. And because it wasn't originally on your schedule, we've got to wake up at 6 because it's an hour and a half drive. And I looked at him, cross and sullen and angry. And in the morning I was even more angry and more cross and more sullen, and it was raining outside. And my press secretary called and said that there was a bad article in the newspaper and something had gone wrong in one of our events, and it was just a terrible morning. And I get into the car still sleepy, and nobody's talking to me because they know I'm grumpy. And we drive out for an hour and a half, and finally we get to Greenwood. Except you don't know right away when you get to Greenwood because there are not a lot of tall buildings. But we get there, and we pull up alongside a park, and there's a building there, and we go in, and there are about 20 people there. And you know, I'm wet, kind of damp. The umbrella was all blowing behind me, and everybody there looks a little damp and a little grumpy and a little sleepy too. But I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a candidate. I'm shaking hands with everybody and saying hello, and you know, I'm not really feeling it. And suddenly, from the back of the room, my staff and I hear this person shout out, says, "Fired up!" And we look back, and there's this tiny woman. She's about 5'2", wearing this outfit. She's got a big church hat. She's about 60 years old, and she's looking at me, grinning. And she says, "Fired up!" And the other 20 people, they act like this is the most normal thing in the world, and they say, "Fired up!" And she says, "Ready to go!" And they all say, "Ready to go!" Turns out that this woman is a city councilwoman in Greenwood who is famous for her chant. And so for the next 5 minutes, she just keeps chanting, "Fired up!" And everybody says, "Fired up! Ready to go! Ready to go!" And we couldn't really talk during this time, so we just kind of stood there, my staff and I, watching this thing. But here's the thing. After a couple minutes, I was feeling kind of fired up. And I was feeling like I was ready to go. So the question, Hudson, is whether we can get this country fired up and whether we can get this country ready to go. And if one voice is willing to say that they're fired up and one person is ready to go, then I know we can bring about the change that has to happen in America. We've got these volunteer cards out here. If you're fired up, if you're ready to go, we want to sign you up. We want to get you on the Obama team. We want to go ahead and bring about the change that is going to make us proud once again of this country and proud of what can be accomplished. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. Fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Fired up? Ready to go? Let's go change the world. Thank you, everybody. All right, who wants ice cream? Come get it.